All right, we are live. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Roofr Masterclass. I'm your host, Pete McKendrick, with my sidekick, Nick. And our special guest this week for this masterclass is a marketing sorcerer and a roofing industry legend here, Michael Stearns. Super excited to have you, Mike.
Thanks for having me. I would question your level of excitement when I noticed that you didn't put me in the thumbnail promoting this event.
Hey, we
However,
didn't want to spoil the surprise that you were on. So
I like that.
you
I
know,
like that. Today the words of affirmation will be my love language. So thank you for affirming that I'm welcome to be here and you're excited. I appreciate that, Pete.
there you
It's
go.
the first one of the year too, which is really exciting.
That's right. Yeah,
Look
we're
at
ready to kick it off, right?
Let's go.
Had a little break, a little holiday break, and we're back at her.
Yeah. So holiday or show season here for us guys. So everybody's been traveling at shows and seeing lots of you guys out there, and we're excited to kind of get the season kicked off here a bit as we start to get nearer to the start of the season, and kind of run through some lead stuff today, right? Everybody's favorite topic, marketing and leads.
Yeah. The real question here is, can you handle the 20 to 30 more exclusive replacement leads?
I think I have some in my inbox right now, actually, in my DMs.
I got a message earlier today on that, which is always good. But it's the biggest thing. It doesn't matter what season, what time of year. Like, it's always on every one of those Facebook groups. It just at least 2 to 3 times a day. How do I get more leads, or do you need more leads? Whatever the case is, and it's a touchy subject. Everybody wants to jump to the door knock thing right off the bat. So,
yeah, and it's interesting. I'm very excited to talk about this topic. The one thing I'll say is, don't wait until you need leads to start doing things that are going to build your brand, benefit your company, and generate those leads. So
it's funny that you say that, because I was talking yesterday with Matt Grassmeyer, who was our very first podcast member, actually, and talked about off-season stuff. And I made the mistake yesterday having a conversation with him. I said, I mentioned the off season, and he said, wait, there is no off season. Right. And so I think that's a good place to start, right? This is what we traditionally would consider the off season for roofers. Our chance to party it up at the big shows and hang out and have fun before you have to really think about putting some roofs on. But, what are some things that you think, this is the time, like you said, this is the time to start. And Nick and I have talked about this with, on some other podcasts or webinars. Now's the time to start filling that pipeline, right? So, hey, look, we got a guy from Rochester
right around the corner.
Who is It's
in your backyard.
I'm in Buffalo, bro. So let me know who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
But let's start there. Let's start with, it's that time of year, right? Like, now's our time to start filling the pipeline. So what are some things that we could do to start generating some leads or generating some business even before the season starts? Maybe I'm a roofer in Buffalo. I'm probably not getting on a lot of roofs at this time of year with the weather, although it has been fairly mild, right?
Yeah.
I think that, obviously I'm much slower. So here's an opportunity for me to maybe, pay a little bit more attention to what I'm doing to generate some leads. So what are some things that I could potentially be doing to start padding the pipeline a bit?
Yeah, I think the easiest thing that you can do is leverage your past customers and put in energy, have a plan of attack, and execute on that as to how you can turn those opportunities, those past opportunities, into more opportunities. By generating things like referrals. Give them some sort of incentive if you want, but touch base, let them know that you're still there. And it can be through the guise of, hey, like, we just want to follow up on a job we recently did, want to make sure everything's great. I know it rained a couple times. Fantastic. Hey, by the way, anyone that needs help, we're here for them. If you have like a referral link that you could use, even better, fantastic. But even rehashing like the opportunities that are in your CRM that aren't closed won. Right? You should be able to run an audit to determine, hey, these are the leads that came in. These are the ones that are signed, and the rest of them never did business with us. That's a really good opportunity to craft a message, to get it back out in front of those folks, to generate those opportunities coming into spring to make sure that your pipeline's filled.
That's awesome. Yeah, like, there's so many. I remember doing roofing with my dad. There's so many from the season before that just wasn't like they weren't lost. They just didn't do the roof. Like, it wasn't leaking at the time. They knew that they needed to do it. Maybe the funds weren't there. and getting out there in front of them again and presenting yourself as that option.
Yeah.
I guarantee you a lot of your competitors aren't doing that. So stick out like a sore thumb there and just be like, hey, remember me? I'm back. Did you get your roof done? Worst thing they could say is, yeah, I did. And it's like, cool, let's take them off my list. But you're getting outside and you're separating yourself from the competition, which is massive.
Yeah, 100%. And you think about it, it's all upside and there's no downside. And if you've got that opportunity, you do it every time, provided it's not too like, it doesn't eat up too much time of yours, but that's really a quick thing. So I would definitely recommend doing that.
Yeah, and not to shamelessly plug what we do, but in the Roofr software, like you can actually see what's happened with all your proposals. So if you've written a year's worth of proposals, you can go back and see what was potentially viewed and not ever signed. You can filter all that stuff out. So it's a great way to just get in there. Like you said, it's not a heavy lift to get in there and filter out those proposals that never turned into signed contracts and start there. You can generate a short list really quick.
Yeah, no doubt. And, the sky's the limit with this kind of stuff. I mean, I'll tell you right now, Nick, to your point, I've been doing this almost a decade, and a very, very, very small percentage of contractors are doing this.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're one of the ones doing it, kudos to you. And if you're one of the ones that aren't doing it, you should start. And I don't mean to put you on blast here on the masterclass, but yeah, there's a great opportunity in doing that. And you can get really creative, right? You could run things like instant roof quotes and, send those out around jobs that you had done recently where, you still have somewhat of that brand familiarity. Maybe you did the job 2 weeks ago, right? And maybe you send to like the 5x5 neighbors, to the left and the right and across the street, whatever. There's really no bounds to how creative you can get as far as like generating those opportunities. It's just really putting some energy behind how you want to approach it and then executing it.
Pete, you brought up Matt Grassmyer too, and on that podcast from a year ago, I guess it was, and talking about no off season, he brought up some cool ideas like this too. And to Mike's point, like it's not a lot of energy, but a lot of upside to it. Sending out like birthday cards for the houses that you've done, right? Like happy 1 year birthday for your roof kind of deal, and creating that brand recognition along with doing what Mike says, reaching out to those people there. You're really pushing that brand out there. And I know, Pete, you do a lot of the breakout sessions at these events that we're talking about. One of the lines that you say is that your customers are your best marketing assets. They're going to give you that brand recognition, that referral, that low cost per acquisition, $0 cost per acquisition referral there. And with what Mike's saying there, you can really create a brand awareness in that area. Because even if they did get their roof done, they could be like, hey, Bob's Roofing reached out. Like, they seem really on top of things. Maybe you should talk to them, to their friends.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a great way to potentially score other business, right? Like maybe they got their roof done and this year they're looking to do siding or something along those lines, and you pick them up for another job, or like you said, or they recommend you to a friend, you just get a referral out of them. There's, staying in touch with your existing customers or even the ones that were prospective customers is a great way to pad the funnel early on, right? So before you start to go out and knock doors and do all of the other stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. And I kind of glossed over or just touched on the building like a referral program. And I think that's another thing it's just an egregious oversight for most contractors. If you have people that you do a good job for and you can mobilize those people to be brand ambassadors for your business and get them active on social media, a lot of the times you don't even have to incentivize them, let's say financially. If you do, you'll probably get a better turnout, right? Like we're capitalists, they're capitalists. I think it's fine. So you can, have some sort of incentivization for them, but simply setting the expectation of educating them on how it works, what it means to you. So if I'm a roofer and I'm going through my QC process after the install and we're talking about how great it looks, how happy you are you chose that onyx colored shingle with the white trim and how it pops. Oh my God, we're getting them excited about something that they're otherwise not super excited about. Now we're going to take that opportunity to get that 5-star review, right? Hey, can I ask you for a small favor? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I'm going to send you a link real quick. And guys, save the link to your GBP profile right on your clipboard or your phone and send it to them right then and there. Small business and local community, our reputation means everything to us. Could you go ahead and leave us a review? Yes, fantastic. Okay. One more thing. If I asked you right now, let's say your dad needed a roof, like, and he asked you who to call, like, who would you tell him to call? And we would hope they would say you. Okay, fantastic. So now you're starting that conversation about the referral process. Okay, so what I want to do is we are a society of titles. People like titles. Put a title on your referral program. You're a platinum customer. I don't know. I don't care. Just do something. Make a title. We're going to welcome you into our loyalty program where, hey, everybody that buys a roof as a result of you referring them, you're going to get $250, right? Here's how it works. And there's automated systems for this that you can leverage, like softwares, to where like each person from your CRM gets pulled into this database and they get tagged, right? And they get their own landing page. I'm sure I'm losing some people. It's not terribly complex. And it's not terribly expensive either. But what it allows you to do at scale is create an ecosystem to where people are consistently getting automated opportunities to refer your business out. And then you have to educate them. So asking for referrals, this doesn't happen very often. I think this is also an oversight for a lot of people. Like, you have to ask for the referrals. But once you do that, educate consumers on where they can brag about how great you are, right? You can do it on Facebook and they can tag your company. They can do it in those local community groups on Facebook. They can do it on Nextdoor. They can do it. They can go airdrop your stuff at Walmart or Home Depot, right? Like, be funny with it, but like there's a lot of opportunities for them to be your brand ambassador and get your brand impression, right? Get your name showing up in front of other people that are or might need or might be at some point your customer. That was long-winded. I'm sorry.
No, but I think it's a great point. I think it's something that is so overlooked, right? Because it is the easiest and definitely the most cost-effective way to generate leads, right?
Yeah.
Like, you just get the people that you've done work for that are already, happy with what you're doing. The value's already there. They see the value in your work. Why not utilize them, and put them to work for you, to generate some more leads? Like I always say, it closes the loop, right? If they came into me as a lead and, they work through my process, if I get them to refer, they just started the process all over again for me, right? So it's just closing that loop and creating this big wheel that just keeps generating more and more business for me. So, it's a really smart, easy way to do it. And I think it's a great way that is definitely underutilized in the business for sure.
One thing too, like you talk about too, Pete, is like making sure, and it kind of goes back to what Mike was saying, making sure that you are known in that area. And how many people after they do a call or finish a job just put their sign, get in their truck and go. There's so much more opportunity out there when you're talking about closing the loop. You had those neighbors watch everything that you did. They weren't sitting in their house and staring at a wall. They were inspecting you. We're all nosy people. And why not capitalize on that? Knock to those people, explain to them like, hey, sorry, like there might be some garbage in your backyard. Would you mind if I go just double check? I really want to make sure. And by the way, do you need your roof done? It looks like you do. I was up there. I was looking down. Like, let's get that circle going. You just can create, like Mike brought up, like the 5-pack there, right? Like the 3 across the street and the 2 neighbors. You got 5 more opportunities there to close. And this is a higher closing ratio because they saw your work. They know who you are. They saw your trucks. They saw your branding and everything else. So there's a lot of opportunity to continue to get new business at a low cost per acquisition just by like grassroots marketing.
Yeah, I agree. And that'll be a nice segue into my next point. But Brooke was a big fan of the airdrop. So appreciate you, Brooke.
I do have to say along that point, though, I think the one piece that gets missed so often, I literally watched a contractor do it here, right? Puts a roof on my neighbor's house, talks to me about my roof, talks to my neighbor across the street, never comes back. Makes knocks on the door, has some meaningful conversations with us.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wasn't in the position. I don't need a roof. My neighbor across the street could probably need a roof here soon and possibly some siding. He talks to her, spends probably 20, 30 minutes with her, never comes back. So I think the key here too is that, it's not about, it's great to knock those doors around you, but there's got to be some follow-up there. There's got to be some consistency to it. Like one of the things that I liked on one of the podcasts or webinars that we did is, hey, knock that door at the beginning of the project and be like, hey, we're going to be here, just want to tell you, we're going to be making some noise. There's going to be, this, that, and the other thing going on, just so you guys know what's up. Our trucks will be on the road. We'll try not to block you in your drive, whatever you want to say, right? It's just an excuse to knock on the door and introduce yourself. Then at the end of the project, go back. Hey, we're done over there. We're just, like Nick said, we're just cleaning up. Can we, do you want me to quote anything while I'm here? Right. Can I do an inspection, whatever the case may be, whatever it takes to continue that conversation. But then after you're gone, right, and you're out of that neighborhood, 2 weeks, 3 weeks go by. Now's your chance to come back, knock that door again. Hey, just back in the neighborhood, figured I'd drop by and just double check on you. Right. Now you're top of mind, right? Now you're staying top of mind and they're like, man, this person's all over it. I feel like I know them. Right. So now, even if that person doesn't do business with you, you're the first person they're going to think of, right? When the time does come, or if someone asks, you're going to be the first person that they're going to look to do business with.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Pete, for sure. I like that. Well, I think there's a really important point to be made here in follow-up in general, not just as it relates to prospecting, door knock. Like, guys, if you're getting leads and you're getting opportunities, follow up with the people. They're expressing interest in purchasing something from you. Follow up with them. Force a no, right?
Yeah.
I have a process, and maybe it's, after X amount of times, we're going to put, after X amount of times of reaching out, or this much time since the appointment, we're going to put them into a rehash. And what a rehash is that's going back and going through all those opportunities that didn't sell. And you can create automated systems to follow up with these. But God, for the love of God, please follow up.
I always say too, it's just like when I used to be selling roofs, I had two answers that could stop me. It's a yes, I'll buy a roof, or F off. Those were the two answers. I would continuously call, and because the follow-up is the biggest thing. I think that, like, what was the stat, Pete? You would know it more than me. It's 84% takes over four contact points or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's 8. I think it takes up to 8 contact points to get 84% of the people to convert, or something like that.
And how many of us don't do more than 3? Like, it's crazy. You got to be on top of them. You're 7 times more likely to close a job if you talk to them within the first hour of them inquiring. You're 40% more likely to close a job if you're the first person in the door with a proposal. These are real numbers that make a big difference. So look, working in shameless plug, like, work with a system like Roofr that will show you each individual view of that proposal, because that proposal view can come, I don't know, 8 months down the road. And that could have been like another stop where you can actually reach out and go, instead of, I always say, like, you're not following up for the sake of following up because you have to follow up. It's like, follow up with purpose now. Like, hey, Mrs. Jones, I saw you looked at the quote. Is there anything I can help you clarify? Those things make a huge difference at the end of the day to create that closing that circle. Like Mike said, you got to follow up. You have to be on top of your leads, because most people aren't. And if you are the one that is, you're standing apart from the crowd. And
please document your follow-up in your CRM.
Oh yeah.
It's like equally important. Let's take a minute and talk. Let's take a look at what Blake said. Blake, took me 3 to 4 months of following up with a potential client and close a $50K cash roof. That is what I'm talking about. Well done, and I'd love to hear about that conversation and what those looked like. But a lot of the times it's not just yes or no. It's, hey, we're waiting on this. It's not the right timing. We're going to do it. We're just waiting on X, Y, and Z. And like, you've nurtured that relationship. And then by the time it comes, it's not something where they're hopping back on Google because they can't remember who it was. And then they search a company's name like ABC Roofing, and someone like Mike's running a Google ad that makes them click to somewhere else. And they're like, next thing you know, they're buying a roof from DEF Roofing, and they didn't even know it.
Of course.
So great job on the follow-up. That's awesome, Blake. Congratulations.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I mean, and that's, it's such a good point, being persistent. I mean, not only is it beneficial to you, but it keeps you top of mind for that customer, right? Like you said, the customer doesn't forget who you are if you're constantly going back and following up with them. So
I have a question for Mike, if you don't mind. So it's a 2-part question. It stems around, it's in the marketing realm, but it stems apart 2 things. I talk to a lot of contractors. We talk to like hundreds of contractors a week here at Roofr. And I talk to a lot that have just either opened up a company or have left a company and they're starting their own version. And a lot of them are like, I don't know how important a website is. Like, is it kind of outdated kind of deal? Like, do people still like use websites? And then the second follow-up is like, they're always wondering how do you work SEO? Like, how does it promote? How do you get information out there and kind of grow your presence? Because you just brought up ABC roofing, and it could be DAF. Like how does that all work out?
So yeah, websites aren't like a thing of the past. They're still super important. And you know what now I might be biased, but I've got data that can show you that websites we build have made a lot of people a lot of money. And you know, the first thing is credibility. So a lot of roofing contractors don't inherently trust marketers, and whether that's right or wrong, that's the reality. And I can tell you that firsthand. So I'm not ashamed to say that the same holds true for homeowners as they view contractors. There's an inherent distrust. They're not thinking everything's going to be rainbows and butterflies, and they're super excited to pick out one of 3 contractors they're going to use. They're probably terrified because they've heard the horror stories, right? So the website is kind of like the first impression. So if somebody's on Google and they're like, hey, I need a roofer, well, and they come to your website and it's not great and they can't find what they need, and it doesn't instill confidence in them that you're going to do a good job because your website there's no wow factor to it. There's a good chance that they leave that website and they go to the next website. So that's what we're really trying to do with the websites. We're really trying to give the consumer information that's meaningful to them in their time of need, so that you look like an industry expert like you are, and do so in a way that's just so aesthetically pleasing with custom design components that make them go, wow. You know, it's like walking into a custom kitchen as opposed to like my rental property who, you know, I don't have custom backsplashes in my rental property. I don't, because that's not what it is. Okay. That's not the game we're playing there. Okay. So with that being said, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody has to go and pay top dollar for a custom website. There's a lot of room between not having a website and having a very high-end custom site. So what I'll say is, if you're in the position where you need a website, but you're not ready to hire a marketing agency, when you're creating your website, think of all the services you offer. Think of all the materials that you install. Think of how people would, you want people to reach you. Think about building rapport with the people that are coming there, like a meet the team page. And make individual pages of content for all those things. And then categorize them in a way that's easy to find. What I always tell people is, like, your website, the pages on your website should be categorized like the index of your owner's manual for your car. So if you go to the index of your car manual, you can find alphabetically things that are listed, and there's paragraphs and sub-paragraphs. They make it really easy to find that information. Could you imagine, Nick or Pete, if you had to go into your owner's manual, you know, it's like 500 pages and it's like size 6 font. If you had to go find something for oil pressure and you had no fucking idea where to look, it would be awful. But that's what's happening if you build one page of content on a website with a bunch of information. So Google's never going to be like, yeah, you know what? It's a good idea to send this person who, you know, we need to come back to our search engine. We're going to send them to this website and happy hunting. No bueno. So just categorize the information in a way that makes sense to the best of your ability. We've also got, if you're looking to hire a marketing company, I have a YouTube channel with 18 questions asked a marketing company. Some of it is web related as well. So check out that video before you hire anybody. Another shameless plug. It's free content, though. It'll help you, I promise.
Mike, what's your company's name? What's this this YouTube channel that we're looking for?
Digital Agency. I forgot that you guys didn't promote me on the thumbnail. That's my bad again. Silly me. So Ascend Digital Agency is the name of my company, and we work almost exclusively with roofers. 37 of 38 of our clients are roofers, and the one that's not is a pest and lawn control company that was referred by, you guessed it, a roofer that we work with. So yeah.
That's awesome. Pete, like the crazy stuff with the SEO.
Yeah. I just wanted to make a comment with regards to the website thing. You know, it's funny, not to call out Astawa, our man in the chat today, but like yesterday, Astawa and I were talking about some contractors. We were actually talking about some podcast things and stuff like that. And we're a couple of contractors came up in the conversation, and while I'm talking about them, Estal was looking at their website, and he said, "Wow, these guys look legit." Right? I mean, literally 10 seconds looking at their website, and he was like, "These guys look legit." Right? So making sure that your website is appealing, like Mike said, and organized and easy to navigate goes a lot further than someone just looking for a roof, right? Like it's, anybody that lands there, it speaks to your professionalism before it's, like you said, it's step one kind of, right? Like it's your first impression, right? So if I land there and like he said, it's one page that's just a bunch of jumbled information, odds are I'm probably moving on if it's looking Mickey Mouse, right? But, if it's organized, clean looking, visually appealing, I'm going to operate under the assumption that you're more professional than the next guy, right? From the
first
start.
impression.
Exactly.
It's the first impression that you're giving, the first look into your company. And if you want them to move forward, have something that's going to present well, because that's what they're going to like base their opinions off at the start.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it this way, guys. If you're sitting here watching me and you value any of this information, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But if you do, you'd probably be less likely to value it if I came in with like a tethered, torn shirt, dirt all over my face, my hair is all over the place, right? They'd be like, you would think, who is this guy? Why am I here? I'm leaving.
Mike's hair always looks good.
But we come in the Ascend Digital Agency shirt. I was actually having a terrible hair day, so I had to like.
I've never seen you have a terrible hair day.
Yeah,
it wasn't cooperating. I had to like pull it back with like a bunch of goop and a comb. It was, there was a lot that went into this. Okay.
You have a team of people though that do that now, don't you?
Yeah.
You got stylists.
Yeah, makeup and hair. So there are some principles as well that I think are important with a website design. I actually had a conversation with somebody last night. They had a website built by another company. And one of the things that we notice is like when you're on the mobile device, if somebody's scrolling through your website, there should be what's called a sticky header. And I can show you guys. Am I able to share the screen here?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You are.
Yeah, fantastic. So give Patrick a little burn here. Let's see. Screen.
Patrick Johnson?
My guy, PJ.
The best.
Can we see this?
It's coming up.
Okay, fantastic. So we got a little video in here where Patrick welcomes people to the website. We got an instant quote feature here. Some great company that created this instant quote. I think it's like Roofr. The jury's out. I don't know.
Roofr.
But you've got a contact form here. So there's multiple ways for people to convert. And whether it's on desktop or mobile, you want this sticky header. So when people are scrolling, if they decide at any point, like they see their process and like, wow, this is a bulletproof process. Let me submit an instant quote. Like, fantastic. Now they can get started. So the same on the mobile device. While they're scrolling kind of through that website, you want to give them the opportunity to convert. So I always recommend having a sticky header, it's called, and having a call now button. So wherever they determine like, hey, it's time to make that call, you give them that opportunity and you make it super simple for them. Right. Mm-hmm. So there's just a couple things on the website side that I definitely wanted to touch on.
Well, and I think you touched on something important here. How important is the mobile version of that website?
Oh, it's really important. More than half the website traffic is going to come from mobile in most instances. So, you want to accommodate that experience. Makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's middlerooftn.com. So y'all can pull it up on the mobile and you can drop in the comments what y'all think the experience is like. I think you might like it.
I find too, when I'm like, I look at roofers' websites all day, and every once in a while, maybe not every once in a while, more often than not, I'm confused on their website. Not just because like how it's organized, like you were saying, Mike, but like there is no real call to action. If I want to find, like, I'm looking to put an instant quote on there from Roofr.com, but if I'm looking for at least the lead form, something that they have on their site that can generate that, because otherwise it's a postcard that is digital. And so many times to find a form, I have to hit a contact page and then scroll down to the bottom of that contact us page, find this static lead form that has no instructions in it. So like, I don't know where my information is going. And how important is it to kind of have those, like I saw with Patrick's website there, you have the instant quote at the top, which is great. plug Roofr, love it. But then you also have a call to action right up the front as well, plus a call button. How important is it to like make those front and center?
Yeah, I mean, it's what do we want when somebody comes to the site? Like, what are we paying for a website and for marketing and advertising for? We're paying for them to say, yes, I want to choose you. Why wouldn't you make it as easy as possible for them to do that? So yes, having pronounced calls to action are very, very important. And like for us, our preferred conversion is a phone call. And then it's going to be instant quote and then a contact form. Like those are how we prioritize our conversions, because we want somebody to have the experience with Patrick when they call Trusted Roofing, right? Like we want him to be able to talk because he has a great personality. He's the master of his craft. Like that's a much better opportunity to get that appointment booked than somebody submitting a form. Submitting a form is not a bad thing. I'm not saying that, but we want the most ideal outcome, which is converting into an appointment and having faith that going into that, we have a leg up on every other company that may or may not be going to see that potential customer. So that's why our calls are primary conversion, like our preferred. Instant quote's a close second, though.
I like it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
So I've got a question for you, Mike, because we have a good friend in common here that I think his last name is Combs, and he has an option on his website that has been coming up more and more in conversations that I've been having, which is giving customers the ability to schedule their own appointment right from the website.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So this is something we worked on with Corey about a year ago. We worked with him on it. And yes, so you've got an admin, right? Let's think about it this way. The whole reason why the instant roof quote thing is such a thing and works so well is because people want to be gratified immediately, right? So when they see an ad, it's like, you get a quote in 30 seconds for your new roof. They're like, let's get it. They click, they start giving you their information because it's convenient. It's fine. It's the same thing. Like if someone comes to a website and they don't want to deal with the bullshit of talking to a roofer or an answering service, like give them the opportunity not to. It's fine. Let them book. Even if it's tentative and you have to call them back, like it's fine. It's okay. You can call them back and then, you've already got some semblance of commitment, and getting commitment from a prospect is absolutely huge in the sales process. Okay. So what we did for him is we created like 8 landing pages, one for each sales rep. And I love doing this. This was so much fun. So each sales rep has their picture on it, their little bio. He's doing mailers that have QR codes that go specifically to that rep's page. They each have their own instant booking app link. Right. So the one on the homepage. So I'll show people here. I'm going to share my screen again. Here goes Mike.
Share it.
Let me see. I'm sorry. My computer's not right in front of me. It's so I'm reaching and it's okay. Give me just 1 second though.
I like how he stays perfectly framed while he's reaching.
Listen, dude. Okay.
This is not your first rodeo.
Yeah. You gotta. My back. It doesn't matter. So this click here and book instantly. So what this is going to do, this is going to round robin. He has 8 sales reps, I think, right now. It's going to round robin his sales reps to make sure that they're all getting opportunities as the opportunities come in. He got 49 leads the other day. I'm gonna talk about that for a second. He got 49 leads. He was super excited. But yeah, so they come here, click here, book instantly. It'll round robin to his sales reps. Fantastic. So the link on the landing page for his specific sales rep, let's say the sales rep's name is Mike Stearns. That's going to allow people to book directly with Mike Stearns. The reason why that's so important to me as a former salesperson is now when my employer, who's telling me to go canvas neighborhoods around my jobs and post on social media and do all these things to self-gen leads, I can have 100% confidence as a sales rep that when somebody is reaching back out to me, that I'm actually getting that opportunity, not one of my 7 other colleagues, which, it's a family environment, but you know what? If I'm hunting, I want to eat what I kill. Right. Sorry. I digressed a bit there, but I'm sorry. It's okay. What do you think?
I love that. Yeah. That's such a cool feature of the actually getting in front of them, actually being able to talk to them and having them kind of eat what they kill, like you said, makes a huge, huge difference. We have that same mindset with I'm going to take a note from Mr. Michael Stearns here and share my screen real quick. But we have that same kind of idea with building like the new instant estimator, where you can create individual links, as many links as you need. So you could have it per sales rep, per location, per sourcing. So you can start to see where your stuff is coming in from. At the end of the day, you want to know what your best lead source is. You want to know what your best sales rep is. You want to be able to find out that information, because that knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And being able to have it there where they can just jump in and say they went to the grocery cart QR code, for example, and able to start getting that information right off the bat. That shows a lot of value to a client, so that they're going to be able to get something quick. And to answer some of the questions that were in that chat there on asking budget, it's a great question. And Mike hit on something very important there, saying that everybody wants to have that instant gratification. But another thing that these people want as well is they want to be able to have all this information up front and they want to find it, not have to talk to a contractor sometimes. They want to be able to get that question answered. And that question normally is, how much does my roof cost? It's one of the most Googled things out there by homeowners looking for a new roof. So being able to get this out to them, and then as well as being able to price condition them with your automatic pricing that's customizable, is a big deal.
Yeah.
I've said it 4 times already, probably. Separating yourself from the competition is massive now.
Yep.
You want to be able to show people where you differ from the way that you reach out, the way that you follow up, the way that you present on your website, the way that you get in your ads, and the way that you can get things to them, like an instant appointment, an instant quote, a call now feature. Those things are huge at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I would say we've generated over 10,000 leads through Instant Quote, well over 10,000. And what I'll tell you guys for the ones using Instant Quote is, be cognizant of how you're using it, right? Mm-hmm. And understand that, hey, if it's something where you guys are eking to get in front of as many customers as possible, put your price per square as low as conceivably possible that you can sell a roof for. And then use salesmanship, have a good sales process to be able to upsell them into the ideal roof. So if like you're GAF and you want to sell them a golden pledge, maybe you don't show the golden pledge price per square on the instant roof quote, because that would scare too many people away. But if you show them the, Systems Plus, the lower level warranty with them, whatever it is, right? You show them the lower cost per square, maybe it doesn't scare them away and you get that opportunity. So that's just some insight from me in having managed a lot of these campaigns. You guys mind if I take a look through these questions and answer some of them for the audience?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So, Michael Holt, I may regret this. You have some feedback on my website. Yes, Michael, let me know if you want me to do it on air or if you want me to connect with you afterwards and we can do it offline. I'll wait for your response. Do you ask for the budget? We just handled that. What was he using to get 49 leads? It was a culmination of Google Ads, SEO, and Google Guaranteed Google Local Services. If you guys aren't using Google Local Services, go out there and get enrolled in Google Local Services. It's fantastic. It's a set cost per lead system, not pay per click. It's pay per lead. If you get shady marketers calling you, asking you if you need more leads, you can dispute those. They're all on a recorded line. Google gives you like a little mini CRM that you can use. It's very, very simple. It's amazing. What Google does is they make you sure that you're background checked and that you have your licenses and insurance in place. And then they, if you're approved, they'll back you up to like $2,000. They guarantee your work up to $2,000, which is really awesome. Aside from getting leads for, I don't know, probably half or a third of what you're going to do as far as like a cost per lead on Google pay-per-click. So it's a fantastic platform.
And you brought up something that Pete and I have been preaching forever, and I've seen you preach this online too, Mike, is Instant Estimator. All these tools are fantastic, but they're just a tool. And if you do not drive traffic to it, like you just said, through a myriad of different ways, it's just a tool on your website.
That's it. Yeah, it's something that's like, okay, this is great. One thing that I will say about the instant estimator, yes, you need traffic. You got to get leads. And the only way you're going to get leads is by that traffic. So now that we've established that for the ground rules of the instant estimator, the other thing is like, that's the primary benefit. There's also secondary benefit. Same thing with Google Local Services or really any type of things that you have that could potentially differentiate you. Use those things in your advertising, right? If you've got a link to an instant roof quote that you can turn into a QR code, like send that out on your direct mail. Do a direct mail campaign about how we can give your entire neighborhood a quote in 3 minutes. Do your entire neighborhood, right? You're one of the neighbors there. We can get you yours too. Here, scan this. Google local services, you get a green check mark. Like, that's really meaningful. If you're getting a truck wrap, include that on there. If you're Google guaranteed, put it on your other collateral that you're using for sales and marketing, and incorporate that into your sales process. Like, if you're using an instant estimator, talk about how you're on the cutting edge of technology. And we do things like A, B, and C. We do drone inspections. We have a software where we can measure your roof and give you a ballpark quote in 15 to 30 seconds. It's amazing. Whatever. But like the Google local services things, like that's really big as well, as far as like a secondary benefit is like, hey, by the way, Google gives us a vote of confidence. The entire reason that Google's a thing is because people trust Google, right? People click the first one of 5 things that they see on Google because they inherently trust that Google's going to give them the best recommendation that's going to relate to their search query. So when you can say that Google gives us a vote of confidence, they guarantee our work, that's super powerful to a homeowner, right? That should be part of your sales process. I know that's not what this call is about, but it's super important that you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's the same reason that we put, Master Elite certified on the side of our truck.
Yeah.
Right.
Same exact reason. So why wouldn't you put, Google guaranteed right next to the Master Elite certified? It all just speaks to your credibility and the quality of the work that you do, and the fact that other people are vouching for you. So why not take advantage of it?
Yep. That's good. Way off base though. Let's get back to prospecting. I'm still waiting.
One of the things I want to say though, and one of the things that really stuck with me, just the whole reason I brought up, Corey's website and the fact that he does that, is Corey said something to me, and it speaks a bit to the instant estimator as well. Is Corey said, when I get a customer that goes to my website and clicks on that and books a calendar event with me, or in our case, goes through all the questions and answers and gets that price from the instant estimator, takes that time, like Corey said, that's our lead to lose at that point. He said, that's really a slam dunk. Like, the conversion rate on those is through the roof. And that's our job to lose at that point. Like, we really got to screw it up, he said, to not sell that job. And I think that's a really important point is, you can drive tons of leads. I can bring you tons of leads, right? 20, 30 leads. I could probably get you out of my Facebook Messenger right now. The thing about it is, what is the quality of those leads, right? Yeah. I'd much rather have quality over quantity, right? Because they're going to convert at a much higher rate. And, and I think that these methods speak to the fact that, you're driving people there, but how do we weed out and get the really good quality leads so that our salesmen aren't running all day, just running crap that's not going to amount to anything, right? Because we don't want to waste time, and we need these guys to generate work for us. So,
yeah, that's amazing. We're going to have to do a part 2. We're almost at 45 minutes.
Yeah, we cruised through that, didn't we?
Yeah, that was easy.
We didn't even scratch the surface.
No, we didn't. Let me talk about some other things that you do for prospecting. You can leave door hangers. You can do automated direct mail, which based on, where your customer is in your life cycle and your CRM, whether they're at, let's say they're at contract signed, build started, build complete. You can create automations for say like, hey, we're going to be in your neighborhood, and you can select areas that you want to send these out to. Hey, by the way, just letting you guys know we're going to be out of your neighborhood next week. If you need anything, make sure you give us a call. Maybe here's a promo as a neighbor. You get 10% off, $500, whatever. That's super, super effective. Local SEO. So there's things called directories that have like your name, address, phone number, your website, what you do, hours of operation, things like that. Claim out, create directory listings on as many of those as possible, because that helps build your local authority. And what that does is gives you a better opportunity to appear in maps, Google Maps. It's important. A lot of people click there. And your Google business profile, like make sure it's all the way like fully filled out. Make sure all your services that are on that you offer are actually put in there. Quick little hack there. If you put your services on your Google business profile, you can actually click into that service and write a 300-word synopsis of what that service is, which is really important because when Google is all based off of algorithms. So if you're feeding relevant content about a service you offer to Google on a platform that they own, like your Google business profile, it's going to behoove you to do so. So definitely do that. Add photos, create posts, talk about post a picture of the job you just did. And if nobody knows how to do it, drop a link and I'll create a Loom video and I'll send it out to whoever drops it in the comments. It's super simple, and you can just, take a pic from like a company cam, download it, put it in your Google Business profile, and then talk about what's going on. It's very simple. You won't have to rack your brain very much, and it can benefit you if you do it consistently over time.
Yeah, and one of the things that, Sawa and I, we did a podcast a while back, and one of the things that we talked about that I think you're touching on here without even really saying it is do lots of things, right? Like diversify what you do to get leads in the door. Like you want your name everywhere, right? Like just sticking, like you said, just being that guy that drives away from the job site and leaves a yard sign behind is not enough, right? Like you want to be able to, I want to see your face everywhere. Like it was funny. I was talking to Matt Grassmeyer yesterday. He started posting on social and I said, you're everywhere all of a sudden, Matt. Like what the hell's going on? Like I'm seeing you on my Facebook all the time. And, now he's got a TikTok and all these things. And he's like, yeah, I'm trying, but that, speaks to it's important. Like it's kind of what we're talking about here. Like diversify what you're doing, all those different avenues are all ways to catch people. And not just that, the more I see you, right? Like if you're my neighborhood roofer and I see you on Facebook and then I see your sign in the road and I see your truck drive down the street, all of these things are just reinforcing your name, right? Subconsciously, to where when it comes time to need a roofer, guess who I'm thinking of, right? Like, I see that guy everywhere, right? He's got to be good.
Yeah, 100%.
There was my dad's company. He's been in business for 29 years up where north of Toronto, where I'm from. And I'm in the community Facebook groups there because I used to work for my dad. And every once in a while, you see somebody post like, who's the best roofer? I need a roof done kind of deal. And my dad's company comes out of like 20 posts. He'll be like 19 out of them or 20 out of them. What was really cool, and because my dad's been around and his branding is good, he's got big yellow trucks everywhere and all that stuff. I've seen people and going right to what Pete said, being like, I've never used them, but I've always seen them around. I've seen them at the Chamber of Commerce meetings. I see their trucks. I know they help out a lot of people in the area, and they got a recommendation without ever touching this person's roof. And that the power of branding, the power of making yourself known in your community is huge. It will pay off. And again, low cost marketing, it makes a big difference there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's a good one. Do we have, are we going to open it up to Q&A? I've got some people that want me to send them a Loom. I know Michael said he wants me to give him some feedback on his website, which I'm happy to do if we have time.
Sure.
It's up to y'all.
Yeah, let's go for some questions.
Last couple minutes and do that. Yeah.
All right. So y'all drop some questions that you got. If you got any questions, in the meantime, I'm going to pull up Mike's site here, and we're going to get to scrolling through and see what's what. Let's see. All right. This is at Lone Star Roofing. Okay. Love the video so far. Let's see here. It's long. I would be concerned that may impact site speed with that video being as long as it is. So that's something that I would definitely look at. The other thing is I see a call to action here up the top. It kind of gets lost in my browser though. I see the white, but you can't click to call from a computer. So maybe we put a form somewhere here to give people the opportunity to convert. I like having the phone number there, but it's not something, again, on the desktop version where they can click and call. So yeah, I would put maybe like a contact form somewhere in here. Let's see, home, areas we serve. So these are location pages. I like what you're doing here as far as, okay, these are the areas that we service, we want to be relevant for. So let's make sure that we get some content out. Okay, so Kingwood, let's take a look. I'm going to go through some of the stuff. Yeah, this is good. I would maybe put these off more to the right though, and be more oriented towards my services that we offer before talking about where we offer them, just because people naturally read from left to right. So make it as easy to find the services as possible. Let's see, residential roofing. You have to have a lot more content about residential roofing on here. Let's see here, a few more. Where does this go? Master Elite. So we got some video
This is super
shingles.
fascinating. I've never seen a live website audit. This is really cool.
Yeah, so there's not a lot of content here, right? And in content, you have to understand having quality content is super important. And then some people would say, well, how many people are going to come to my asphalt shingle page and read about asphalt shingles? And the answer is probably the minority of the population. However, these are some of the ranking factors that Google takes into consideration when they're ranking your website. And this is a good example of what we were talking about with like the index of a car, right? So when we have services, we have residential services here. Okay, fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up another site over here. Give me 1 second, just so I can kind of do a comparison. Middle roof. Okay. Sorry, guys.
No problem. While you're doing that, so you're saying that Google algorithm sees the content in your website and will allow you to rank higher?
Yeah. So I mean, think about it. The more, if I sit here and talk to you for 5 hours about a specific topic, I'm going to be viewed more as an authority on that subject matter than if I can only give you 17 seconds and 49 syllables worth of content, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that you have to have a 5-hour dissertation on residential roofing, but think of it in that way. You know, you should have 500, 750, 1,000 words of content about residential roofing. Can we see Patrick's website again?
Oh, we're still on the
okay.
Yeah, we're still seeing
Let me I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second Mike's website screen. So conversely, like if we go here and we go residential roofing, now you're going to see sub pages, right? And we talk about roofing material that we offer. We do asphalt shingles, we do metal roof. We got roofing services, inspection, repair, replacement. So if I click on roof replacement, best roof replacement, this is a headline, right? Calls their attention. Can I repair my roof instead of replacing it? We've got our trust badges. We got nice truck wrap. Signs that you need.
Lots of calls to action.
Yeah, signs that you need to replace your roof. Why choose us for your roof replacement project? Here's your contact form at the end again. Here's your footer in case emergency service, quick link, bang, emergency service. So we're going to kind of go through emergency service and we're going to have content about that. So this is kind of the way that I would recommend building your site out, Mike, is building out more content specific to the services within residential roofing, within commercial roofing, storm damage, all the content that you want to be found for. Just build it out some more. But it's not, dude, it's good. There's opportunity to improve, but there's always opportunity to improve. Every day is a learning experience.
I've got a website question for you, Mike. How important is the About Us section? I notice here, like on Patrick's site, it's all the way to the right? So it's probably going to be, like you said, reading from left to right. It's going to be one of probably the last things I get to. How important is that piece? Like you mentioned earlier, like a meet the team page.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got Patrick here in the forefront on a video, so I'm getting to see his face anyway.
Yep.
But I noticed if you go back to Lone Stars too, I noticed that he didn't have an About Us section listed at the top. So
yeah, so we'll go back to Mike's in 1 second. I think it's important, and what we did here, because we have his video right here, and we also have the veteran-led and family-owned, like we're giving them a taste of the About Us. And if we feel like if we pique their interest and they want to learn more, they can come over here and then they can learn more. We haven't gotten bios and stuff yet to put up, but like ultimately, like that's what we want. If we've got a team of 9 people, like give us here, I think let's get like as many people and their stories up as possible, right? Here, I'll show you an example. One more. Okay, you can see Northkit right now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so here's the executive team, and however you guys want to put it, right? You hover over, and now it gives them just a synopsis of who that person is and who they're going to be dealing with. This builds confidence that I'm going to have a roofer out, and I know what to expect. Who I'm going to see, like that's really good. So yeah, there's a little cool custom design component just to educate the consumer a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's those things too that's going to set, again, going back, separating the competition. Like this is something that someone sees, and Pete and I talk about it all the time. Roofing is not a sexy purchase.
Yeah.
People are not planning ahead for the roof like they're planning ahead for a new kitchen. So providing that, and here it is, Pete. We went the 54 minutes without saying it, but providing the education and transparency to the client, makes a huge difference and completely can win you that job. And if you can do that on the website before they even talk to you with that graphic there, an instant quote, a story about you, a video, your show and sell, like showing your portfolio.
Yep.
That's where you can get it done.
Yep. Yeah. And, and Mike, so let's talk about some of the good things, like some of the content, this blog post from February 22nd, like this is it seems like a really well-written piece of content, like people put time into, like it's a good length. It's not just, one paragraph, 300 words. So like, that's really good. Yes. 100%. I would like to see an about us, and make some of the adjustments that we saw, but that'll make something that's good even better. So yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Any other questions?
Yeah. Anybody else got any other questions?
Any questions? Let's see here. I'm scrolling through.
See any more questions in there?
You're hired. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you. That's awesome. All right. Well,
no, I agree with Nick. That was really cool to see kind of a live audit of a website. I don't know that I've ever thought that much into a website. Right? So
yeah,
that was interesting to see.
I know what I like when I look at a website, but I've never thought about it from that standpoint. And I never thought about, I talked with people about like rankings and making sure that they're set up for success when you're driving traffic to the instant quote, but I never thought about it as like an algorithm where they're actually like, it's the search engines looking for that content, that information and stuff. That's going to help me talk to the roofers and educate them a little bit more.
Yeah. And if you think of it, just always think of it this way. The easier it will be for somebody to find who needs what you have to offer, the better off you'll be foundationally for Google to give you a vote of confidence, to give you a better position, because everything comes back to the money grab of capitalism. Google makes money off of their ads. I think it was like, I don't know, like 40, 50 billion or something insane the last time I looked. So if you think about it, if somebody comes to a website where they're trying to find a very specific piece of information that Google sends them to, and they're scrolling through a bunch of shit and then they leave, that's not a good user experience. That person might go to Bing or Yahoo or in the future ChatGPT to get answers. That's a whole other conversation we could have. But they're less likely to come back to Google because of that experience. And the less eyeballs Google has on their search engine, the less they can charge you if you're running Google ads for your pay-per-click ads or any type of advertising, right? So they want to encourage the best type of user experience possible, because selfishly they're going to make the most money if they provide that experience.
Makes total sense.
Now, I'm not an employee of Google, but that's how I see things. All right. Don't come after me, Google.
Another question here in the chat really quick before we finish up. Jim asked, how much should one expect to pay to develop a good website?
I mean, I've seen good websites priced anywhere between 10 to 30,000, depending on page count and the custom designed components and things like that. There's a lot that kind of plays into it. But I'd say that would be a good range for like a custom site. So that's like a site that would be the equivalent of a custom home, not a tract home. Like you can build like a Ryan home. We have Ryan homes here in the Northeast, and they're nice, right? They'll run you about 300 grand. They're nice homes. They're great. They're fantastic. But it's not a custom home. You don't get to place the different pieces of designs where you want. You don't get to dictate the floor plan. You can't put your laundry hookups here. All the houses are built kind of like prefab style, like floor plans are dictated to you. They build them out. Fantastic. And here you go. It's $350,000. So you can build, I guess, good websites for less than that. You can do like a theme or a template and maybe find one for $4,000 or $5,000. So I will make that differentiation. There's a difference between like a custom coded website and a theme or template website. And it doesn't necessarily mean that a themed website can't be good.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry. It's a long-winded answer.
No worries. And then Haley asked for the best company for direct mailers. Pete named it right there. Dope Marketing is great, as well as Lead Scout. Just a shameless plug. It is the 22nd of February today. We have 6 days left. If you are interested in a direct mail automation door hanger type of tool like Lead Scout, and you're also interested in the Roofr Instant Estimator, well, you're in luck, because we have created a partnership.
It's your lucky day.
Yeah, it's your lucky day. We have an amazing promo on right now with us in Lead Scout. If you buy the Instant Estimator from Roofr, you get 3 months of Lead Scout for free, and they're throwing in door hangers, magnets, and all that fun stuff. up front. So in the next 6 days, you can hit us up, get some information from us. I'm happy to help out and answer anything. And then
wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more.
I'm just kidding. There's not more. I just, I remember it from like infomercials. When I was
of course. But wait, there is more, because you can also talk to our good friend Mike Stearns over there about any of your advertising or website needs, because he's not in the promo, but he is definitely the more to us, because he's helped us out with everything. So I think he's the person to go talk to. As you've seen, he's a wealth of knowledge. He has this information. He has a track record to prove it. And I can tell you, every single one of our clients that goes to Mike are extremely happy. He showed 2 of them on the screen already. And I'll just tell just before we hop off, a good story about Mike. I sold this guy an instant estimator. He was having a lot of trouble with his current advertising person, and they weren't able to implement what he thought were simple things on the website. And we told him to reach out to Mike. Mike reached out to him, and they had a conversation, and it looks like they're going to be doing work together. And the guy reached back out to me and was just like, man, Mike Stearns, you're right. He's the real deal. I was like, yeah, of course. So that's the kind of stuff when you can make a bad situation good like that and help out new clients as well as existing with us. That's why we partner with Ascend.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And, one thing I would ask anybody watching this is go on YouTube, Ascend Digital Agency, subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's so much content that I put out kind of geared around helping folks make good choices for advertising, not getting taken advantage of by, shady marketers or nefarious actors in the space. Because that, most people that come to us we're the second or third agency. So save yourself some heartache, take the initiative to become educated. The content's out there. Go subscribe and watch some of the stuff. And, I'm always available if y'all need help. On Facebook, Michael Stearns. Slide in the DMs.
There you go.
Astawa, can we have him send me a list of the folks that want the Loom video? I'll make a Loom video when we hop off here and make sure that everybody receives that as far as posting on the Google Business Profile and whatnot.
Cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate this.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. This was fantastic.
We could probably do another 2 hours.
Oh, yeah. Easy. Yeah.
To answer your question, Nick, as to how important the website is, I think we talked about it for 35 minutes. So,
yeah,
I think that speaks to how much of an important part it plays. But yeah, I mean, thanks, Mike. Really appreciate you having it on. Good as always, man. So, yeah, like I said, we'll have to do this again because obviously we have tons more we can talk about. So I appreciate
Haley, don't go. Yeah. Well, they're begging for a part 2, so we got to give them a part 2 at some point.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Coming
awesome,
soon.
guys. Thank you, everybody. We'll talk soon.
See you, everyone.